So welcome, it's John S's Sports Channel back again for League One predictions week 3. So here we go. What did we do last week? Well, we did quite well last week. In fact, we bettered our week 2. We got 6 correct results, 2 of those with the correct score. So I'm quite proud. Let's just go through those. And we start with Charlton versus Orient. Charlton versus Leyton Orient. I said it was going to be a 1-0 win to Charlton, and it indeed was a Charlton 1-0 win. Shrewsbury versus Peterborough. I said it was going to be a 1-0 Peterborough win, and it was a 4-1 Peterborough win, so the correct result there. Blackpool versus Stockport. I said 2-2 draw, and it was Blackpool 0, Stockport 3, so that was wrong. Cambridge Crawley. I said 1-0 win to Crawley, and it was indeed a 1-0 win to Crawley. There's my second correct result and score. Huddersfield versus Stevenage. I said 2-0 to Huddersfield, but Stevenage did put up a damn good fight, and I'm really impressed with the Stevenage performance so far. And so that was the correct result. Lincoln City Barnsley. I said 1-0 win to Lincoln because they were at home. And Barnsley just don't seem to be quite clicking it for me. But they clicked on the day. Barnsley won 2-1, so not correct in that one. Barnsley on to Mansfield. Mansfield Burton. I said Mansfield 3, Burton 0, and it was Mansfield 3, Burton 3. So Burton scored a lot more than what I thought they would do. Incorrect on both accounts there. Northampton versus Exeter. I said Northampton 0, Exeter 2, and it was 2-1 to Northampton, so no good there. Reading Wigan. I thought this was going to be a battle royale back to the Championship days, but Wigan just didn't seem to step up to the mark, and we ended up with, instead of a 2-2 draw, I thought it was going to be a Desmond 2-2. It was a 2-0 win for Reading, who seemed to be really doing quite well. 4 points out of their first 2 games. I think they're quite motoring in the correct direction there. Rotherham United against Bristol Rovers. I said it was going to be a 1-1 draw, and it was a 0-0 draw. So I got the correct result. Wycombe Wanderers versus Birmingham. I said it was going to 2-1 win to Birmingham. It was a 3-2 win to Birmingham. So just 1 goal each out there. But the correct result. Bolton versus Wrexham. I said 3-1 win to Bolton, and in the end they both cancelled each other out quite nicely, and it was 0-0. So that's my result from last week, and I'm quite proud of that. 6 correct results, 2 of which are correct scores. Absolutely brilliant. So let's go on to week 3. So we go on to week 3, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult now because we're starting to see teams try and see what errors they've done in the first 2 games and try and change it. We're starting to see team selections suddenly move, especially with the cup games in the middle. So it's a little bit more difficult. I don't want to take long because that just makes you turn off before we get to the end. Please stay to the end because I do want you to listen to my little bit of a request to start joining in, please. So please do stay to the end, as we always say. So we're going to start with Burton versus Stevenage. Now, a lot of people are thinking this is going to have 2 or 3 goals. I think with Burton, what did Burton do? Burton Stevenage. You see, Stevenage are doing really well, and Burton, I really thought they got that one. They got 1 point. Stevenage 3 points, but Stevenage, I mean, you have to feel for Stevenage. They lost 2-1 away to Huddersfield, but they played really well, and against a Huddersfield side that are doing excellent. That getting a goal there and actually still being in it all the way to the end is actually really, really good. And then you look at Burton and you think, well, 3-3 draw against Mansfield, who are my team to watch, and they are actually it was 3-3. They're really scoring quite well. Both teams doing really well. What can I say? I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to go for a Desmond. I'm going to go Desmond 2-2. Burton 2, Stevenage 2. Stockport versus Bristol Rovers next, and Stockport sit high and mighty on the top of the league. Who would have thought that? Stockport County. They won 3-0 away to Blackpool. Now that's an intimidating place to go at the best of times. So they did really well against the Bristol Rovers side, who just don't seem to have the impetus. I mean, they were away at Rotherham, 0-0. Not really. They had most of the game. They had 75% of the possession, but couldn't put anything in the net. I'm worried about their ability to score. I know that the fans are starting to come around to Taylor, but I'm going to go for Stockport 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Barnsley versus Northampton next, and we have Barnsley who are 3 points from 2 games against Northampton, directly below them, 3 points from 2 games. Both +1 in the goal difference stakes. Barnsley haven't been playing as well as I thought. I mean, they won 2-1 against Lincoln City, and it's a good Lincoln City side, it really is, against a Northampton side that last time out won against Exeter, and Exeter have been playing really well. And they ended last season really well, and Exeter fans are really, really happy about their performance. So to win 2-1 at home to Exeter, I think was quite a good score. But Barnsley, for me, they're just showing a little bit more comeback, and they're trying to change things a little bit. Perhaps I'm edging it a little bit too much, but I'm going to go for Barnsley 3, Northampton 1. And that could be a little bit of a sticking point. It could be quite more sort of 3-2 or even 3-3, but I think I'm going to go for 3-1. Cambridge versus Blackpool next. Now we're at Cambridge, right on 21st position, and they're playing Blackpool in 23rd. Neither have got a point yet. They really do need to start firing, especially Blackpool. Blackpool are expected to be at least mid-table. Their fans expect it. The team expects it. The manager expects it. So what did Blackpool do last time out? They lost 3-0 at home to Stockport County. Now, admittedly, we don't really know what... Yeah, and the week before they lost away 2-1 to Crawley. So these are two sides that they're not used to playing. They're from League 2. This could be the sticking point. They play slightly different style of football. A lot more aggressive, a lot more, you get the ball and 3 people tackle you. Against a Cambridge side that just haven't really shown... I mean, in the first game, I think they did in the first game, didn't they? They lost 2-0 to Stockport, but they actually played a good game. And they only lost 1-0 to Crawley in week 2. So, yeah, I've seen people give this sort of 2-1 to Crawley, 1-1 draw. They're not giving it a great deal of points, a lot of goals, a lot of the people. And I'd probably agree with them. I think it's going to be quite a low intensity. We can't lose this sort of game. And I'm going to go for Cambridge 0, Blackpool 1. So going on, and we go to Charlton versus Bolton. And Charlton have been playing extremely well. 6 points in 4th position against Bolton, who we thought would be firing on all cylinders, and they're in 9th position on 4 points. Now, Bolton, last time out, they drew at home to Wrexham, but Wrexham have been showing exactly how good they are. And I suppose I wasn't too shocked. I said it was going to be 3-1 to Bolton, but they just couldn't get it. And I think the 2-1 win against Orient showed that Bolton, well, they are sort of slipping up, not quite doing as well as how they really should be. And for that reason alone, I think Charlton will be more happy being at home, and I think they'll have that extra man from the crowd, and and I think they want it more. I just think that it's going to be very, very low scoring, probably one at the maximum 2 goals in it. That's what most people are saying to me. I'm going to go Charlton 1, Bolton 0. Exeter versus Peterborough next, and Exeter were doing really well and played Northampton and lost 2-1. It seems to be a little bit up and down. I mean, we only have played 2 games, and it's really, really difficult to judge Exeter on what's happened, especially beating Rotherham 1-0. But Rotherham played awful. So I think we have to think that may have been just pure luck that they played a dreadful Rotherham team, and then they play a sort of pretty lower average Northampton team and lose 2-1 against a Peterborough side that started to show that they can really fire. I mean, 4-1 win away to Shrewsbury. You have to prefer the Peterborough side, don't you? I have seen people, based on the previous scores, especially against Rotherham, give Exeter the win here. I can't do that. I'm going to go for Exeter 0, Peterborough 3. We go down to a firing Huddersfield side against Shrewsbury, and I'm sorry, but you've got a Huddersfield side that have been. I mean, last time out, what was it? 2-1 against Stevenage, and Stevenage have been doing extremely well, and then they won 2-0 away at Peterborough, who are also doing really, really well. And you have to think that this could be the time where they really do blast one of the teams into the heavens. I'm going to go for Huddersfield 4, Shrewsbury 0. Similar game here with Orient versus Birmingham. I think Birmingham would be stuttering. They didn't expect League One to be quite so as aggressive. They don't give you space, and Birmingham expected space. And they even though they won the game against Wycombe last week, Wycombe came back because all they were doing is just keep doggedly attacking them, keep doggedly being in their face. And Birmingham now with 4 points, they must be thinking, we haven't lost one. But they are being hit by this League One style football, which is not what championship footballers can or championship style football can play against. For that reason, I think Orient could throw in a wobbler here. They could actually get a draw. I don't think they will. I think Birmingham are firing far too well, and if they can just control the game better than they have done in the first 2 games, I don't think they really controlled it all the way through the 90 minutes. My God, if they control it through the whole 90 minutes, then I think you'll see Orient 0, Birmingham 4. But like I say, throw in a wobbler, Leyton Orient fans, and it could quite easily be a draw. Lincoln City versus Mansfield next, and a Lincoln City side that lost 2-1 to Barnsley at home against a Mansfield side that have really been doing well. I mean, I've been really, really happy with that. A 3-3 at home to Burton, and that was a game and a half. You see the goals going in on my watch along, and I was just going, there's another bloody goal at Mansfield, my God, and this Evans chap scored again, and he is really, really impressing me. He can only get better, can't he, in League One? He really can. And for that reason, and the fact that we have Lincoln City against Mansfield. Mansfield are in 6th on 4 points. We're at Lincoln City. We were expecting Lincoln to be well up there, and they're in 12th on 3 points. I think Lincoln will score, absolutely. I think it's going to be Lincoln City 1, Mansfield Town 3. We go on to Wigan versus Crawley next, and like I say, it's a little bit difficult. This is starting to get quite hair-raising. Wigan haven't quite impressed. I mean, 3 goal differences negative, no points. against the Crawley side that have been firing on all cylinders. 6 points, 2 goals out. There's only a 2-goal difference. So what did Wigan do last time? Well, Wigan were away to Reading, and I thought it was going to be a 2-2 draw, and it wasn't. It was a 2-0, and Wigan didn't really get going. The first time they lost at home to Charlton, but again, it's Charlton. They've been recruiting really well. So this could just be what Wigan fans needed, an easier game, if there is one in League One this season. But it's against Crawley, who have been firing. They've got their pecker up and a 1-0 win against Cambridge, but it's a poor Cambridge, and I think that 1-0 win should have been a lot more if they want mid-table. The only thing I would say for that is that Crawley won 2-1 at home to Blackpool, and Blackpool are actually a damn good side. So it makes it really difficult. Wigan Crawley. 2 goals seem to be in most people's predictions. It's like 2 goals, 2-0, 0-2, 1-1. Yeah. I'm going to think this is going to be a bit tighter than that. I'm going to go Wigan 1, Crawley 0. But it could go either way, and people are predicting it either way. Wrexham Reading. Now, Wrexham have hit the ground running, haven't they? 3-2 win against Wycombe. A 0-0 draw against Bolton, but Bolton are a damn good side, and you're going to think Wrexham 4 points from the first 2 games against Reading, who have been playing really, really well. Again, 4 points from the first 2 games, and you think this is going to be quite difficult, and I think it will. I think this is going to be quite even. I've seen a few people say it's going to be a draw. I think if anybody's going to edge this, I think Reading showed a little bit more fire in that first game. I think Reading in that first game, 1-1 against Birmingham, didn't they play bloody brilliant? And for that Birmingham game, I'm going to give them the win. I'm going to go for Wrexham 1, Reading 2. Now we go against my side, and I got the result correct last week. I did say they were going to draw, and indeed we did. It wasn't a 1-1, it was 0-0. Around about 19 shots, about 10 on target and 0 goals. What can we say? Well, they're playing pretty much low, mid League One football. Against Wycombe, they were unlucky, weren't they? Wrexham 3-2. They came back with a bang, and they just couldn't. They really did play well in that first game. Wrexham 3, Wycombe 2, and then and they did the same against Birmingham. Wycombe 2. Birmingham 3, they must be sick of 3-2. Shall I say 3-2? No, no, for God's sake, don't. But I do think they win because they're scoring, whereas Rotherham aren't. I think it's going to be Wycombe 2, Rotherham 0. So there's my scores on the doors for Week 3 of League One. And League One's going to be interesting, and I'm going to keep on doing these throughout the season. But I do need your comments below. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, don't just click a thumbs down and carry on. You can click thumbs down if you want, but I prefer you didn't. It screws the algorithms up. But below, give me a bit of a comment. Tell me what scores you think it should have been. And then go on to next week, guys, and tell me what you think your scores are going to be for next week, because I do look at them. I didn't get any comments from last week, so I can't mention any now, but I will be mentioning any that come through directly to my channel. I think that's a pretty good start for the year. I think with 6 correct results out of 12 is pretty damn good. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy giving you my predictions, and hopefully you enjoy listening. It looks like you do. Please like and subscribe. I really need the like. I really need a few more subscribes. And will be on with a new set of watch-alongs over the weekend. Please do join in. Please come and comment. Please come and like, subscribe those as well, because I'm trying to build a community here different from all the other football and sports channels. This is a true, I want it to be a true, everybody gets together and talks and enjoys each other's company, even if you're watching football on the television at the same time. So please do like, subscribe, and next week on the weekend, we're going to be in our regular watch-alongs. Please do come and join in. John S Sports Channel, over and out.